Hello, 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 everyone. I am so happy to see you. You're welcome to the Dr. Joan of Angels show. I'm Dr. Joan of Angels, and we have a phenomenal show today. We are going to be diving into a topic that is universal, it's mystical, it's talked about all around the world, but today we're really going to start with who was Mother Mary? Who was she? Have we ever really given thought to exactly what her role was and who she is? Our guest today, Dr. Marguerite Mary Rigoglioso, is the founder of Seven Sisters Mystery School. She's a leading authority on the history and sacred significance of virgin births, and her work reintroduces us to this lineage of miraculous conception, sheds light on the lost teachings of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. And today we are going to find out just who she was and her impact on us as we explore these forgotten truths. So today, guys, make sure that if you're on the show with us, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. That's how we keep the show going, and that's how we reach our tribe. And remember, I'm Dr. Joan of Angels. My work is as an intuitive, as an oracle. My links would be below as well. Make sure you check us out and you get the support you need as you step into your best gifts this lifetime. Now, we're going to introduce Dr. Rigoglioso. She's an amazing being. I've had an opportunity to interview her a few times. She's a pioneering scholar, world-renowned teacher of esoteric wisdom, and as we said, the founder of Seven Sisters Mystery School. She's a trusted mentor on healing and spiritual paths. Marguerite brings decades of dedicated research into the sacred and mystical practices of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. She's the award-winning author of The Secret Life of Mother Mary, Divine Feminine Power for Personal Healing and Planetary Awakening, as well as The Mystery Tradition of Miraculous Conception, Mary and the Lineage of Virgin Births. It's a big name. Through her groundbreaking work, Marguerite reawakens ancient teachings. She explores their relevance to our lives today, empowering us to reclaim the divine feminine within ourselves. She's the most amazing, mysterious woman I have ever interviewed. So I'm happy to have you back, Marguerite.
Oh, thank you, Joan. Thank you for having me. Great to be with your esoteric self.
I know, right? My esoteric chiropractic, actually, because I combine now my healing ability as a chiropractor along with my healing as an intuitive, and we just realign the body. So enough of me. So tell us what you've been up to recently.
Oh my gosh, so much. Well, as you mentioned, The Secret Life of Mother Mary, that book, it came out in July 2024. So as of this recording, came out this year. So have been really busy helping people get to know that book. And my wonderful publishing company, Inner Traditions, put it out. And so that's been an exciting journey, speaking to people and teaching about this. And along with this, I created a new training called the Mary and Magdalene Priestess Training. So that's really to help women have a lived experience of these great masters and their mysteries and to take this forward. So we're in the midst of that training right now, and I will be offering it ongoingly if people become interested in that. So those are kind of the two major things that I've been involved with through Seven Sisters Mystery School.
I feel like you're creating more and more mysteries, because when you even said The Secret Life of Mary, Mother Mary, you went, oh my God, she's opening up this doorway, because I always love exploring secrets and mysteries. And you're opening up this doorway, you're inviting us to enter into it. So let's get down to it. Tell me something. What about the secret life of Mother Mary? I just find this really fascinating.
Yeah, thank you for just speaking to that unveiling, because that is my intention with this material, is to unveil Mother Mary, is to uncloak her, because she has been given that dour image of the cloak in kind of like the nun's habit, essentially. But when I started learning about her, really a couple of decades ago, I found many more things about her than we are taught in the Christian tradition. And I had to look at suppressed gospels, suppressed biographies. I had to look at other views that other seers and saints have had about her and really put it all together. Of course, it all emerged from my research into divine birth as a real practice of the highest holy women on the planet, Mary being one, but not the only one, right? So, everything has sort of traveled from that road, diving more deeply into Mother Mary. And there are many areas that I discovered that Mother Mary is a master. And, it has to do with her womb powers, her heart and compassion powers, her leadership capacities. And we can talk about all of these things. Her ability to be a stepmother, um, her her role as a teacher of Jesus, her role as a teacher of Magdalene, and her role not only in the divine conception of Jesus, but in his literal resurrection. So those are all, we're just laying out some of the topics that we might dive into, but that gives you some of the broad overview. She really was also a champion for women who are opening their spiritual consciousness, and women who wanted and want to be spiritual teachers, spiritual leaders.
That's so interesting. Why do you think all this information about her and the gifts and powers that she had? Because it is really remarkable that she was able to bring through this baby. It's a testament to how powerful she was and her training. But why has this been suppressed from us? And what can we learn from this?
I know, it truly is amazing, Joan. And as I continue my research, looking into what they're calling the Gnostic Gospels, the Nag Hammadi texts and Nag Hammadi texts and all that, and I read them and I'm like, this has been right in front of our eyes for 1500 to 17 or 1800 years, and yet it's relegated to the dusty corners of libraries or nebbishy scholarly output and things like that. Rarely is it translated and brought into the public. I mean, I think, yes, Elaine Pagels did a good job with that. And there are some other people that have been making more accessible, for example, the material about Mary Magdalene. But Mother Mary has still remained a cipher. And I think it's partly because we are in patriarchy, where the matters,
Mhm.
concerns, values, and powers of the feminine get deliberately suppressed. So that would be the short story of that. And then I think that also on the more esoteric level, because patriarchy is not just a creation of the masculine, that there are things underneath that have caused this. On the esoteric level, there is this whole ecosystem of beings that are responsible for the doings of patriarchy, and then therefore the suppression of the feminine, of women. And Mother Mary was one that definitely in that agenda had to be very much covered up, because to reveal the reality of it and the actual powers of this woman would open the door to all women becoming empowered all over the place. And that was definitely not part of the desired agenda on behalf of some of these beings.
It's so interesting because they glossed over really her pregnancy, how she got pregnant to carry the Son of God here. And they just glossed over it as if it was no big deal.
That's
Like,
right.
no big deal. Sure, I go out tomorrow, I might be pregnant.
Yeah, also that there was no agency and will on her part, no involvement of her. Okay. And so this is what I discovered when I started looking into the actual history of divine birth all over the world. And I've written about that in ancient Egypt and Greece in previous books. But in my previous book to this, Secret Life of Mother Mary, the mystery tradition of miraculous conception, which you mentioned, I really unearth the suppressed gospel about Mother Mary, how she was divinely conceived by her mother, Anne or Hannah, how they had a relative named Elizabeth who divinely conceived John the Baptist, and how Mother Mary was raised so that she could conceive Jesus in this seemingly miraculous way. So that gospel is known now as the infancy gospel of James, but originally it was called Birth of Mary. So you can see how even the very name gets covered over, right? Because it's just not convenient to patriarchy, and then it's just not convenient to the powers of certain religious institutions to draw headlights, onto this material as well. So we're really in a phase now. Mary Magdalene went first, as you know, for the past 40 plus years. There's been this whole movement to uncloak Mary Magdalene, to exonerate her, to raise her back up to really what she originally was, and who she is, and who she is for all of us, how she's a reflection of us. And now it's Mother Mary's turn. There seems to be some kind of divine turning, divine timing.
I agree with you. I agree with you, because it's like not even anything that I ever thought of. It's like I accepted this virgin birth. Huh, okay. And never even went one step further until I met you and started to really dive into that. What do you think this reemergence then of wanting to, and I keep feeling like we're just doing this into it, just to discover the treasures of Mother Mary, her power, which I'm assuming would activate our own powers.
That's
do you
right.
feel, and do you think it's significant of what's happening in our world today?
Yes,
We've just
I absolutely do. And just returning back for 1 second, I want to just go back to the fact that virgin birth wasn't just something that happened through accident, God's will, what have you. The women were the orchestrators of this. So Mother Mary was the orchestrator of the advent of the Sophia Christos onto the planet in order to help humanity. 2,000 years ago in the Roman Empire, as now, things were very, very difficult. It was like the apex of the incursions and the digging in of the claws of these negative energies. And if you really look at these suppressed gospels that were hidden, stolen, half the time rewritten, and probably many more that were burned that we don't even have access to, they explain all of this. It is the same issues 2,000 years ago as today. Sexual predation on humanity, rape of women, rape of men, pedophilia, and then all of the organizational issues, the suppression of women, the discouraging of them as leaders, all of that kind of thing. So today, fast forward to today, and as of this filming, things are in chaos. Sledgehammers and wrecking balls are being applied to a certain country that shall remain unnamed. And everybody is either terrified or elated, depending on, how they're viewing the situation. And even that is just a symptom of the larger awakening and sort of convulsion that humanity is going through now. We are going through a sieve. This is like the prophecy being in a way of 2,000 years ago, now being really more fully acted out about this awakening of humanity. And we can, look into that more deeply. But I feel that the Marys, and, because there are more than even just Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, and we can talk about that, but also Jesus, Yeshua, and really the entire Holy Family, they are here with us. They are working on the other side of the veil in a non-dogmatic, non-programmed way. The more esoteric you get, the more esoteric and mystical you see them as. And then it's this reciprocal figure 8 where they help you move into your true spiritual awakening that's beyond dogma, beyond doctrine, beyond any of this imagery that has been imposed upon them, beyond the PR job that has been done on these beings, all the way down to what they wear, how they talk, that kind of thing.
So we really weren't allowed to know the truth about who they really were and who these Marys really are that are around the world, or even the fact that, and I know I've talked to you before, we've talked about how this kind of immaculate conception can have, you can train yourself after years of training. Have you been in training, Marguerite? Like, I know you conducted trainings. Are you specifically doing the practices yourself for this immaculate conception, or training others?
What I'm doing in this regard is focusing on the holy womb chakra system, the mantras and the yantras that are associated with that, which the late Hindu saint Sri Kaleshwar gathered from the ancient palm leaf manuscripts, these processes, these understandings. And he put it together in a system in his 36 short years on Earth before he left the planet in 2012. And that is a very robust system to clear, cleanse, elevate, and empower the womb. For me, that was what I needed in this lifetime. And I think it's what a lot of women need in this lifetime, in this generation. So as to kind of clear the field, clear the womb field, so as to even get ready to conceive at the level of Mother Mary. Now, that said, this system offers a 2-mantra process whereby a couple can use these mantras to conceive what Kaleshwar called a divine child. So encoded within this system is a way for, regular people to draw in higher elevated souls to the womb of the mother, and therefore to the planet in service. And there are anecdotal stories about the qualities of these children that are brought in. So that is what I'm doing, and that is what I'm training others in. I sense that the actual divine conception tools, quantum technologies, and so forth, that's a little bit of a ways away. When I started this work back in the early 2000s, I was shown that it would be about 3 generations before the readiness and the tools were on the planet for women to be able to bring everything together to resurrect this type of a priestesshood again. And what we're doing now is we're bringing in through tantric connectivity, these higher level beings. Women are also raising themselves up to rebirth the divine within ourselves, you see, because we're not now necessarily waiting for that avatar, that advanced teacher to be coming onto the planet. We are all becoming that. And that's what the Marys and Yeshua and the sacred family help us with. It's all in these Gnostic materials, right? And these are the types of things that I'm training people, myself, first of all, and others, into perfecting our light body, perfecting our Merkaba, our vehicle for ascension.
Okay, well, you triggered a lot of things for me. First of all, last year at the Glastonbury conference, there was a woman from France. God, it's on the tip of my tongue, and she was up there speaking about even this plant that has been removed from the earth. I'm not even sure if you can find the original of this plant, but this plant itself, you might even have heard of it, can actually help you have an immaculate conception.
Well, that is fascinating. I would love to hear that material. That can make sense to me because it is encoded in the ancient Greek and Roman mythology that flora, had flowers of this nature, that
yes,
plant medicine was involved with all of this kind of thing, from the level of opening your consciousness to now, in a sense, what I'm hearing here is to working with your eggs, right? Your eggs for actual conception. So both of these things, consciousness and physical bodily, upgrading, I think was going on for the women who were using involved in divine conception. And in just yesterday's Mary Magdalene priestess training, we went into the element of sound, the quantum level of sound that must have been involved with Mother Mary. Okay, so
I'm thinking about that. Yes, you cannot, of course, it would have had to create that environment and break through any of the obstructions that are there
Yeah.
and allow the conception to happen. Sound is responsible for so much.
Yeah.
So let me ask a question. So you have an unusual interest, which reminds me, says, okay, you must have had some past lives here. You must have connected with Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. Who knows? Maybe you were Mary Magdalene. We don't, maybe maybe you'd like to share.
Yeah.
That's the question. Please share then a little bit of your personal encounters or the channelings or your reason for
Yeah.
like what's gone on for you.
Well, I think that many people have incarnated now as emanations of Mary Magdalene. That I think is a Buddhist concept where when a master becomes so great and ascends to the next realm, they can have emanation. So it's not so much the soul reincarnation of this person, but they fractalize.
Right.
And their soul is able to be accessed into the DNA of various people. And I think that is what's happening en masse for Mary Magdalene. I think now that is going to be happening more as we get the intellectual understandings around Mother Mary. And I think it's been happening with Jesus, Yeshua, for a while. This is what's meant by the second coming. All of us. It's a unity field that's developing whereby everyone is becoming a Mary. Everyone is becoming a Christos or has the capacity to do so and to do so at higher and higher, or let's say deeper and deeper levels, right? Because it's not just, oh, one and done. Now I'm Magdalene. Well, you want to keep going deeper and deeper. I mean, the fractal of the mysteries is infinite. So you can keep developing your soul until you, yes, actually merge, become one with the holy being of the entire universe, Mother Divine, Mother, Father Divine, which Mother Mary did. She had her ultimate ascension. That's another one of the events of her life that I look at, So for my own, more of my own personal experiences, one thing I feel very strongly is that I have, first of all, let's say nun past lives.
I was a nun, N-U-N.
Yeah, I was in a nun. I was in nunhoods for sure. I remember that much closer and more clearly. But then I think that I was either part of or very closely associated with some of these divine birth priestesshoods, which is why I would have the memories, right? Essentially, because when I'm doing this research, it's a process of remembering, So I think I was there. I think I was virgin in many lives. And the virginity was part of what was needed to bring in the avatar, right? But it was really about becoming the male female. It wasn't about suppressing needs for a male lover or something like that. It was about virgin meant becoming the hermaphrodite, the male female, so that you could give birth. Like these are further iterations of my understanding, even since my previous book a few years ago, right? So I think that I was connected with all of this. I also think that I am strongly connected with the Pleiades and the seven sisters of the Pleiades, not necessarily as an origin point, but a place where I travel to and from quite a bit, which is why I think I have an understanding of the seven sisters as seven virgin mothers of humanity who seeded large portions of the human race. Okay. And then I feel also a more distant origin connection, perhaps with Andromeda, right? So these are just pieces and bits of some of the things. I think I've had lives in Africa. I feel very connected with Africa, as well as Egypt, as well as Greece, as well as ancient Avalon in the British Isles, which is, I think, how I know so much about the Arthurian times, Guinevere and Arthur, and how I was able to discern that a hijacked virgin birth was taking place there to distort their advent onto the planet, because they're part of this Sophia Christos Essene lineage, essentially, which keeps reincarnating on the planet periodically, right? And so now we're at this time where the reincarnation is becoming collective.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Is
theory.
is that the lineage of Isis that you talk about?
Yes, because Mother Mary, according to Rudolf Steiner, the great seer, and this feels like truth to me, Isis was Mother Mary's previous incarnation. And right after that, she became Mother Mary. So you can see that she was a being who was learning throughout lifetimes, touching into the earth plane and learning and learning and learning how to do these womb mysteries, these love mysteries, these resurrection mysteries, perfecting it so that when she came in divinely born by her physical mother, she had all the code she needed to do what she did, which was to bring Jesus to the planet, get these Essene teachings going in a much stronger way, resurrect this being so that he wasn't smashed apart, but wholly resurrect him, not partially like Osiris was partially resurrected in that particular
Mm-hmm.
life, where she was
Right.
to learn the resurrection techniques, fully resurrect Jesus so that humanity could benefit from the gifts of all of these processes and all of these qualities now.
I'm beginning to see the pattern. I get it now. So somehow you're here now, emerging to bring these practices forward because this is the times we've been waiting for and a birth of the new humanity. So you also mentioned that I picked up that you said that Mother Mary was birthed. Her birth was also a virgin divine birth. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Again, part of these lineages of priestesses who knew
Mm-hmm.
what they were doing. Her mother,
Right. And they're being trained now. Again, it seems to me like the women that you were with in those days, or that I was, we were all with, are coming back to
that's right.
create this in the now.
And we're getting ready. And we're getting ready. And whether it's going to happen in this generation, the next one, or the one after that, we shall see. There are wonderful people like William Henry, who has really tuned into this work. And Sasha Stone has become very curious about this. And the three of us have had an interview together. We're going to be talking again. Something's going to be coming up where we're going to be kind of moving this parthenogenesis, because that's essentially what it is a divine conception without male sperm. Then there was the tantric kind of divine conception,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what is the role of parthenogenesis today or tomorrow? Where are we going with all this? What's been happening and what's possible?
So, coming to today's world, then bringing this all forward, how can, especially we as actually women and men, because, how can we take this information and move it forward,
Yeah.
and live into it?
Well, just by reading these materials, the Gnostic Gospels, or what I've put together, The Secret Life of Mother Mary, or other things that are coming out about Mary Magdalene, sparks open your memories so that your intellectual knowing side can stimulate your intuitional side, right? And then your intuitional side stimulates your knowing and your memories. So cultivating intuition through meditation, through these, seeing practices, these knowing practices, using sacred medicines to contribute to the opening of your consciousness, doing various practices that you're learning from others, perhaps in my priestess training, working with light and light codes, sound frequencies, the various different sense organs that can be used as initiatory pathways into the mysteries. And being in nature, working with training yourself to be able to see dragons in the landscape, in the trees, to see fairies in the flowers, to elevate your consciousness into fifth dimension, right? And
Mhm.
also, let's face it, eating well, sleeping well, exercising well, to really keep your body, mind, spirit in tip top, all go along with these other esoteric means, and just working directly with these guides through your meditations, through your medicine ceremonies. They're going to show you a lot and teach you a lot. Working with these holy womb chakra yantras and the drawings and the mantras, a ready-made system that has real results in our lives. So these are just some of the ways,
Mhm.
people have been, and the personal healing, the emotional healing, the inner child work, the trauma healing, the restoration of your scattered soul parts through susto or trauma. That is critical, okay? Because without that, you can do spiritual bypasses. You have to anchor into a healthy emotional life. You have to
Mhm.
cultivate into a healthy emotional life, because the degree to which you have a healthy emotional life is the degree to which you have power on this planet to take those esoteric techniques and really do something with them. Because a lot of times what we're seeing now is we're seeing people who are starting to have awakenings. They're aware, oh, shenanigans going on in certain aspects of institutions, and let me just take a wrecking ball to them. Let me just create new tyrannies. No, that person would do well to do their inner child work, so they actually are integrated and know what they're doing. Otherwise, there's going to
Yes.
be a lot more damage created. The dark side is going to find a way to grab that as well. So these are the intricate games that can go on between the dark and light. And our core is emotional stability, resilience, non-reactivity, and a benevolent neutrality.
Well said. Well said. Absolutely. So all of this is really because it's time for us to bring back this power within us
That's
and
right.
align for this next level that's
That's
coming in.
right. And that's why I feel, that's why I'm working with and playing with the Marys and Yeshua.
Mhm.
That's why I feel they are here. They have been here overlighting. This lineage of the Sophia Christos energy goes back, thousands of years. We could call it a scene. We could call it whatever we want to call it. But it's still here. And this is a pivotal time on the planet, because a large portion of us are able to communicate with one another and understand that there is a tyranny, there is an enslavement, and that we want to release ourselves from this and come to true sovereignty and freedom. They're here for that.
That's really good to know, because that's exactly what we're stepping into.
It's
It's taking
exactly,
it's taking our power back on all levels.
absolutely.
And
And
yes.
And it's not about re-Christianizing the world
No,
to
no.
into new dogma. It's
Mhm.
letting these beings be the one-on-one teacher, the tailored teacher for you.
Yes.
No dogma, no just believing what everyone is saying, but you having an experience with them and of them, of what they represent, which is an eternal stream of Sophia Christos consciousness that is already within us. It's not even that they're giving us anything. They're just saying, we want you to awaken to your light within. That's all. You still have that Sophia light within. It was not taken away from you, even during these hybriding experiments that have gone on through eons of time with these interdimensional beings working on the earth plane and others to mess with the angelic human.
So interesting. So tell us, everyone, number one, how they can find you in your book and what you're offering. Like, I
Okay.
know you have meditations, you have
Yeah.
groups. Let's go over it.
Yeah, because people can step in and get their toes wet at any level through Seven Sisters Mystery School. I mean, first of all, I do highly recommend my new book, The Secret Life of Mother Mary, which you can get wherever books are sold. Ask your bookstore to bring it in and buy it there to support the local bookstores, or you can get it online directly at the Inner Traditions website, or the other ones, Amazon and so forth. It's in print, it's in Kindle, it's in audiobook. And then if you get really interested, you might want to look at the mystery tradition of miraculous conception. Taken together, those will really help give you the intellectual information you need to have your memories come back to you, all right, in a bigger way. They're very readable, they're very accessible, all right? So I'd recommend that. Then if you want to have a lived experience of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene on a monthly basis, you can join my Mary and Magdalene Empowerment Circle, my monthly Mary and Magdalene Empowerment Circle, and just go to sevensistersmysteryschool.com. The 7 is written out, SEVEN, and you can find that. It's a very affordable, monthly subscription, and you'll experience how I'm bringing forth these Marys for all of us, and going through processes, healings, and activations for yourself, that each month it's a new theme. It's kind of calibrated to what people are needing, what we're needing for our time. So those are 2 very easy ways to start getting into this stream in a lived way. And then just get on our email list, our newsletter. You'll be kept abreast. I have on-demand courses about Mary Magdalene and other things that will again open the gates for you. That knowledge that, oh, right, that's who Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene are, meaning that's who I could be, right? And then eventually next summer 2025, we will again start enrolling the Mary and Magdalene Priestess training that will run September 2025 through February 2026. We're right now in the first cohort of that, but I'm going to offer that again, and we're going very, very deeply in that class. It truly is a training that is so easy because it's joyful. There's not onerous work. It's just the training is happening as you're listening to what I'm saying, as you're listening to the guided audios and meditations, as you're going through these ceremonies. We do ceremonies with cacao and Blue Lady Lotus. So everything that you're receiving is like, wow, it's going in deeper. And I have a cacao ceremony online coming up December 8th, 2024, that's open to everyone. And that's going to be about stirring the mystery energy within you of the Marys. So you'll feel it, if you're familiar with cacao, you've done a really good ceremonial experience, what it's about. If you haven't yet, or you kind of played with it or kind of went to a cacao thing and you didn't really feel that opening, you'll, come. I teach you how to do it. I teach you how to order it, prepare your cup, and then we're together online, right? So there are many things. All right. That's a little sampler, I would say, Joan. And thank you for asking and opening the door to people understanding. I'm sure you'll put some links in the show notes and so forth. And when we have
Absolutely.
channel, we'll do the same. Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll put the links in the showroom. Marguerite, I feel like every conversation I have with you gets better, gets deeper, clarifies more things, because honestly, the first time I talked to you, even though I know in my heart of hearts, everything you're saying is accurate and that this is all possible, there was still, I felt outside listening to you.
Yeah.
As we were talking today, I really felt more that I could feel this secret life. I have a secret life like
That's
that too,
right.
where all of our gifts and our powers are sort of hidden in our womb and need to come out. So you gave me some really new insights and clarity here.
Well, thank you for that reflection, Joan, because what's also happening here is I'm evolving, I'm developing, I'm healing, I'm becoming more aware of what this is. And as I become aware and heal, I'm able to bring different energies and understandings to people and help people in deeper ways and help them access. So I'm less of the talking scholar and more of the person who's, opening doors for people to have their own experience. That is where I'm meant to go. And that is what
and
we're
you
doing.
are. You definitely are. You're just such a treat to work with and to talk with, and really, a few years ago, I was working with this very renowned astrologer, and she talked about how all of us as women have had a cork put in our throat chakra by the patriarchy.
That's right.
And we're now looking at having it's being removed as we speak, and your work also speaks to it. So thank you for being on the show. I so appreciate that. And stick around. I have another question for you. Okay.
Alrighty.
We really appreciate. Okay. So, honestly, this was the deepest interview we've done together. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much, Dr. Marguerite Mary Rigoglioso, for joining us today, sharing your profound insights that really impact deep into our own womb. So your research into the divine feminine and the miraculous conception has really broadened our understanding of sacred history and the immense hidden powers of the feminine spirit. So all of you, if you're ready to dive deeper into these mysteries and uncover the timeless wisdom that can transform your life, be sure to check out Marguerite's work and her teachings at the Seven Sisters Mystery School. So meanwhile, guys, you've been on my show, Dr. Joan of Angels, where we really want to align your body, mind, and spirit, all of that, your body, your mind, and your spirit, so that you can transform and live your best life, the best version of yourself now, the healthiest version, the version that's in touch with spirit, that's in that flow, and that is living that miraculous life. So enjoy your week. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for being with us.